and welcome to the Did You Know Show. My name is Bryant Green, and today's show is brought to you by Always Best Care Senior Services. We provide in-home care primarily to seniors, but if you're somebody that has had a hip or knee replacement, a back injury, if you're recovering from a stroke or battling cancer, if you're recovering from COVID, please think about Always Best Care first. We are the agency that never sleeps. You can call us at 267-909-9248. Like to remind our listeners that we are hiring. We're looking for second shift customer service representatives, in addition to full-time and part-time LPNs and RNs. We're looking for some caregivers that want to work. Anybody that is really, really professional, reliable, and has a loving heart, we're looking for you. Again, you can call us at 267-909-9248 or visit teamgreenabc.com. What's going on, Philadelphia? I missed you last week. I had a lot going on. As I do today, I got my roller skates on. Literally, got so much going on. Hey, when we're talking about, working, whew, can you imagine what's going on with the folks? We really got to, pay attention to what's going on. Somebody needs to hear that 25 states are ending the 300 unemployment benefits this summer. So some states like Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, most of the GOP-led states are planning to end supplemental unemployment benefits designed to help out-of-work Americans weather the coronavirus pandemic, a move they say will help businesses struggling to hire employees. And at least 25 states in May and June to prematurely cut the sweetened aid, and I do say sweetened, with provided an extra $300 a week on top of the regular state unemployment benefits. The supplemental benefits is not slated to expire for the rest of the states until September 6, 2021. And let me just say this. We, along with a lot of local employers, have had our challenges. There's not many places you can go out in the city these days and not see hiring sign. And I just want to send a shout out to the folks that are out there that are looking for a job. Please don't wait till the last minute. If you were blessed enough to get the STEMI bread, put it to the side and go get you a job, because in September there's going to be a mass rush, and some of us are going to get left out. I'm just saying, just my advice, not trying to tell nobody how to live. STEMI bread is not going to last forever. It's over September the 6th, 2021. So, for those people that need to hear that, that's what's going on. All right. Want to just give a shout out to the Alzheimer's Association. The Alzheimer's Association is celebrating their Party in Purple this Wednesday, June the 16th, virtually at 7 p.m. Yours truly is being acknowledged and celebrated. I cannot wait. I am so excited. And along those lines, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news, just the same, they have found, and the FDA has approved this drug called Biogen. And anyway, as the global nonprofit leader in Alzheimer's research and science, we have extensively reviewed the clinical trial for aducanumab. My doctor is on the show. Will get me together after that. But they're saying in a statement, based on the trial data, the treatment demonstrated an effective result, which has shown and confirmed by leading scientists in the Alzheimer's and dementia scientific community and the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. The Alzheimer's research experts and advisors are deeply familiar with the basic and regulatory science that led to the FDA's decision. They were right to approve the statement. So the scuttlebutt that's going on right now, big surprise, following the approval, the manufacturer of Biogen announced their intention to price Aduhelm, so the drug itself is called Aduhelm, at $56,000 per year. Can you believe that? This price is simply unacceptable. For many, this price will pose an insurmountable barrier to access. It complicates and jeopardizes sustainable access to this treatment and may further deepen issues of health equity. We call on Biogen to change this price. So stay up on the news. So they got the drug and that kind of thing that FDA has approved, but the company, the manufacturer that's putting Aduhelm Aduhelm, I think that's how you pronounce it. You can Google it later. The company is called Biogen. They're saying that it should be $56,000 a year. I don't know. See for yourself, but it's an exciting time that they did find a drug. I'm sure we will work it out. I'm optimistic about it. Go Sixers. The Sixers last night tore into those Atlantic Hawks. Oh man, we gotta see them again this Monday at 7:30 down in Atlanta, down in Atlanta, the Staples Center. We're gonna deal with them again. If we could just keep the focus on the defense, and if we can get Ben to keep taking those shots and keep going, driving to the hole, and Tobias is having a great time out there. The energy is there all 4 quarters. I'm rooting for the Sixers, aren't you? Father's Day is next week. To my fellow dads out there, y'all ready for your tie and your cologne? I'm just saying, be nice to get some crab legs, but they because of the recent events of the stemmy bread, crab legs is like $18 a pound. So I don't know if that's going to happen for all of us. Just saying, just trying to be optimistic. But happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I hope you enjoy your next week. I'm probably going to put a couple of slabs of ribs on the grill and keep it moving. I want to say congratulations. I'm going to dedicate the mid-show song to my cousins, Shalita and Thomas. They're finally getting married. And I only say finally because they don't mind me saying it, they had to reschedule their wedding because of COVID. And anyway, love has stood the test of time, and I'm so excited to be celebrating their wedding this evening. It's going to be the bomb. So congratulations to Shalita and Thomas. You have heard Thomas on the show before. He owns that Mako Pendel up in Lower Bucks County. So he's a frequent guest on the show. So really excited about that. All right, my guest today is a long-standing friend. She and I got a nice history as 2 entrepreneurs, 2 minority entrepreneurs. It's been fun to watch her grow and that kind of a deal. But Residency Eye Care and Optimum Vision Center has an exceptional management team to guide its success with Dr. Shalise Furman at the helm. Dr. Shalise is a mission-driven optometrist who has a passion about serving her community. Dr. Furman has over 18 years of experience as an optometrist and is actively licensed in the state of Pennsylvania. She grew up in Philly and returned to the community in which she grew up. She is well regarded in the community and has often led community education seminars about eye care. I can speak to that because a lot of times she went out with us when we were marketing our home care. She obtained her undergraduate degree at Spelman, and went on to get her OD degree from the New England College of Optometry. She started working in retail practices and then transitioned to being contracted to work for the local government, practices specializing in geriatric home care, and finally owning her own practice in the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia, which was established in 2015. And I believe we did a live broadcast that day to celebrate it. She has a passion for health education for her patients and believes in improving patients' quality of life through eye care. Dr. Furman and her team provide the finest quality eye care. These services include comprehensive eye examinations, medical treatment for eye diseases, and co-management with optometrists, ophthalmologists, you got me tongue-tied, Dr. Furman, for post-op care. She has extensive experience in geriatric, developmentally disabled, and in-home mobile eye care, and has specialized in her niche eye care for over 15 years. This has enabled her to build a solid reputation with a loyal patient following. Without further ado, it is my absolute pleasure to invite my friend, my fellow entrepreneur, Dr. Shalise Furman. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for the introduction. That was wonderful. I'm doing well. How are you? I haven't seen you. The pandemic has kept us apart and just being busy, but I look forward to getting back together.
We got to get the band back together. Me and you, Mr. Britt Caldwell. For the audience that's listening, when I first started this season of in-home care, I was introduced to Dr. Furman by my good friend Steve and Tracy Davis. At one point, I believe you were working there, and really, if we want to go back into history, go back into time, you used to see my daughter back in the day.
That's true. Yep.
My daughter. Girl. Yeah, she was a little baby. Bria will be 28 this year.
Oh, my goodness. No.
Right?
No.
That's how far we go back. Bria's first pair of play school glasses were when she was 18 months old. And I never forget the response that her mother and I got at separate times when we dropped her off at daycare at that time, like, oh, she's a different kid because she can see. We just felt, we felt bad at first, like all that time she, because she was really always nervous. But when she finally got her first pair of glasses, and just to encourage those parents that have kids out there with eye issues, get it checked out, because the technology back then was amazing. I can only imagine what it has evolved to now. But I am so happy to have you on the show. I could talk to you personally all day and for another hour, but we only got an hour, so I got to get right to it. So, Dr. Furman, if you don't mind, explain to us, let's just start from basics. Explain to us the difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist.
Sure. So an optometrist and an ophthalmologist both specialize in eye care. Optometrists go to school for 4 years and do a residency, rotation afterwards, and sometimes a residency in a specialty. But the training is mostly specific to eye care. An ophthalmologist went to the medical school, and then their surgical residency was in eye care. So they are surgeons. So a lot of times, a lot of my patients, I will co-manage with an ophthalmologist. So they come see me, their friendly neighborhood eye doctor, and I say, you look great, I'll see you next year. Or I say, this looks like it might be a little bit more complicated. Let's have a consult with a specialist, and then I would refer them to ophthalmology.
Okay. So lots of people's eyes have been feeling strange. It's time for me to come over there and check you out and give you some business, because I got an updated prescription, just saying. And I was chicken. I didn't get bifocal, so I got distance glasses. I got distance glasses that I need, and I got the computer glasses that I'm about to ask you about, because like a lot of people, my eyes are strained over the last year since the pandemic started. What are you seeing? What's happening on your end?
So a lot of my patients are complaining of eye strain, blurred vision, tearing, and light sensitivity, and it could be from several causes. One of the reasons it could be is because you don't have your proper prescription, because a lot of people skipped their eye exam last year because obviously it was a pandemic. So the very first thing you should do is go make an appointment with your eye doctor to make sure that you have the most updated prescription. But also it could be from something called mask-related dry eye. If you already had dry eye before the pandemic, I can guarantee you it likely got worse during the pandemic. The same way that you blow up through your mask to fog up your glasses. I don't know if you don't wear glasses and you wear sunglasses and you have a mask on, you'll know when you breathe or exhale, that lens fogs up. That same breath is blowing into your eye and drying your eye out. Dry eye can cause various symptoms, including tearing, light sensitivity, blurred vision, and redness. It doesn't necessarily feel dry. It sometimes just feels like those things. So, of course, I always recommend to my patients, tuck your mask under your glasses, or put your glasses on top of your mask, almost so that you're creating a seal. If you work in a healthcare setting and you need to wear your mask all day without taking it off, because a lot of places, even though the mandate has been lifted, if you're in a healthcare setting, you will remain in your mask until they say you otherwise. You can also use medical tape to take your mask down, or there are some masks that have adhesive. Additionally, you can use artificial tears that are over the counter. You want to make sure that you're using them without anything that gets the redness out or anything that gets the itch out, because those are medications. What you really just want is a lubricant or a tear, just to kind of keep your eye refreshed and keep that mucosal tissue in there healthy. There is a small bit of information that says very, very unlikely, but may be possible that you can transmit COVID through your mucosal tissue in your eye. You do want to make sure that tissue is hydrated, comfortable, and healthy by making sure that you are lubricating it with artificial tears, and that you're keeping your mask under your glasses or adhered to your face if you're not allergic to any adhesive.
Dr. Furman, while you said that with this artificial tears, what's interesting is I just came across, and just by coincidence, and then also, and I was in conversation, there are people that are suffering from serious eye injury or fungus or disease with keeping their contacts in too long. And I don't know if it's because they just don't take them out regularly. What are the pros and cons about contact lenses? Because it seems to be a hot topic, especially now with people having not gone, and I guess the care of it. So if you can give us the pros and cons of contact lenses and what people should be doing to really take care of them.
So originally, during the pandemic, when a lot of people were not open or not getting their eyes checked, they assumed that their eye doctors were closed. But eye doctors were deemed essential workers. So you could have gotten your eyes checked, and you still can. The most important thing with contact lenses is you have to wear them according to the regimen or the schedule that they are FDA approved for. So, for example, they may be FDA approved for 30 days of wear. That's it. 30 days, take them out. I say your contact lenses are like underwear. you wanna change them like you should.
Right.
And dispose of them when they're done. But a lot of people do sleep in their contact lenses. They don't take them out. What that does is compromises your cornea. Your cornea needs oxygen. It needs to breathe, and it will find a way by growing blood vessels in there, by being irritated, so it can force you to take the contact lenses out. The unfortunate thing about contact lens wear is that it decreases the sensitivity of your eye, so you don't feel the contact lens anymore, which is great, but you also don't feel when your eye is sick. So you do need to go get your eyes checked, especially with a contact lens exam, and that contact lens exam expires every year, no exception.
Wow. If you just tuned in, my name is Brian Green. I'm the host of the Did You Know Show. The Did You Know Show is centered around connecting people to home, community, and business resources that you ordinarily would not have known about. It's my pleasure to give platform to fellow entrepreneurs like Dr. Shalise Furman, because you were right in the beginning of my season. And in a lot of ways, beginning of your season too, you broke off and you're doing a solo act. Do you remember when we did the grand opening at your location? So tell us.
I remember.
Do you remember that? So tell us where you are. Tell us the hours of operation. Give it to us. Come on, Dr. Furman. Tell us what's going on.
So I am pleased to say that we are back to being open 5 days a week. We were working on very limited hours. That was a very tough decision for our business, but my kids were still home virtually, and I needed to obviously be there. We are located at the corner of Fenton Avenue and Johnson Street on the Fenton Avenue corridor in the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia. Our address is 6331 Fenton Avenue. We're open Monday through Friday. At this point, we're open 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and soon we will be open later hours, possibly at least 1 week in a month. Our phone number is 215-548-5949. You can always call, make an appointment, or you can visit our website at optimavisioncenter.com.
So you guys are up there in that little strip. That's like a little strip mall right there. Off on Stenton Avenue, and I know exactly where you are because I was there. But I guess now we're all as businesses dealing with the throes of the pandemic. I mean, we really are still in it. And what's going to become really interesting is now that as of yesterday, there's no mask requirement in our area. There are a lot of people out there that have not gotten vaccinated, and they're the most at risk right now because anywhere you go, it's kind of like a super spreader situation. So in the summertime, they say because COVID doesn't do well in the heat like most flus, but we get back to the fall though. So I just encourage everybody to get vaccinated. I just want to send that little plug in there. But when you think of now, we're into summer, so school is ending or has ended in some cases, and you have now your kids are transitioning back into the classroom, hopefully, but while they were sitting home looking at their cell phones or tablets or computers, I bet you right now, everybody really should get their eyes checked. Can you explain to us why?
So every year, your prescription can change, even if it's slight increments. You want to make sure that you have the optimal prescription for your daily activities. So for children who previously may have not needed glasses to see far away, because their working distance has changed, they may need glasses for reading. I often tell my patients, humans are designed to look in the distance, like, oh, if you think of humans as animals throughout history, oh, there's a dinosaur, oh, there's a saber-toothed tiger, oh, there are some berries on a tree. We're not really designed to look at things in our hand for 8, 10, or arm's length for 8 to 10 hours a day, but yet here we are. The very best thing you can do is to have the most updated prescription that you can possibly have, especially with children. When children don't have their proper updated prescription, it can cause a number of problems, one of which is blur-induced increase in their nearsightedness, but also their reading time may slow down, their reading responsiveness may slow down. Your child may complain that, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to read it, or, oh, I'm skipping lines, I'm just reading the same thing over and over again. A lot of those things that a child will say, they may not say their vision is blurry, but they may say that, oh, my eyes feel tired, or, oh, I'm sleepy now and I don't like to read. You may notice your child saying that, and if that is the case, it's very, very important that you get your children's eye checked and make sure that they have the very best prescription for themselves, because what we cannot have is, especially with our children, to have them identified as being slow readers for something that may not have anything to do with reading at all.
Interesting. And as I'm sitting here listening to you, as you know, obviously my daughter's grown, but I just now know, when I talk to you, I just remember talking to you from a parent to a doctor scenario, and even like that small. I mean, it's been a couple of decades at least since Bria been wearing glasses, but with the technology, when you think about the brightness of the computer, like when you got that little brightness setting, I can tell you right now, I use it on my cell phone and on the laptop, my tablet. I'm always, as I get older, I have to be honest, I'm closer to that red line. When you're brightening up your screen and it tells you, okay, this is maybe too bright for you. You know what I'm talking about, and my listeners know what I'm talking about too. When you brighten the screen, you're like, well, damn, I can't see. You know, when you
I call that boomer print, Bryant.
I have to embrace
it. On boomer setting.
I have to embrace it. So I got a couple of different questions, but the first one I want to ask is, how young is too young? Because I'm using my own experience. My daughter got her first pair of glasses when she was 18 months. And so, you know, when I guess when you start noticing your child's vision issues or suspected, I mean, you deal with all realms, but when would you suggest when or even if you have a school age child, you know, what's some of the symptoms or things that parents should look at?
So I tend to ask parents if they're noticing that their child is getting closer and closer to a book over time, if they're squinting when they're looking at things far away that you think they should be able to see, if they have a head tilt to the left or to the right, if they're closing one eye to see clearly, or if they notice that one eye or both eyes turn in or out at any given time, there is no time that you can go take your baby to go get their eyes checked. You just have to make sure that you're taking them to a pediatric eye doctor if they're under 5 or 4, to make sure that they can, because obviously maybe a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old may not know their letters or may not know how to have an eye exam, but the technology is so great that we can evaluate their vision and evaluate their eyes to see if there's any problems there. And then definitely before they enter school, around 5 years old, they definitely need to have their eyes checked to make sure that you're giving them the best start when they enter kindergarten. So I always recommend every August, August is my hottest time for back to school. I could never take a vacation at the end of August ever in my life, I think, in my professional life, because it's so busy.
Wow, that's interesting.
So everyone needs to get their kids' eyes checked before they enter school.
Interesting. So if you just tuned in, I am Bryant Green. Today's show is sponsored by Always Best Care Senior Services. We provide in-home care primarily to seniors, but if you're somebody that has had a hip or knee replacement, a back injury, if you're recovering from a stroke or battling cancer, please think about Always Best Care first. And guess what? With the summer coming up, we are doing the seasonal home care. So if you're somebody that's having an affair, a party, an event, a bar mitzvah, a wedding, a retirement, community situation, and you want somebody to sit with mom or dad so you can run the event, call Always Best Care. We'll do 6 to 4 hours. We'll do 24-hour living, whatever you need to get through the event. If you want to go on vacation and you're concerned about mom and dad say they don't want to go and you want to leave them home, call Always Best Care. We'll work it out. just give us a call at 267-909-9248. And guess what? I can't tell you anything about the Dell. Only thing that I know about the Dell is everybody else is that the tickets are going on sale on Saturday, June the 26th. They're being very secretive about the shows. And as soon as I get the information, I'll let you know. I want to take a quick break. Again, today's guest is Dr. Shalice Furman. We've been talking about eye care and that's taking care of yourself and routine visits. We're going to come back on the other side. I want to talk about which insurances you take. I want to talk about what you can expect in time frame to get the glasses back. So let's take a quick break. Let's play some Michael Jackson, Human Nature, and come back on the other side. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Hello, welcome back to the Did You Know Show. That was Michael Jackson and Human Nature. Seems just like yesterday that album came out. That Thriller album came out in 1983. Where were you at in 1983? I was a freshman at Central High School. Dr. Furman, you still with me?
I'm here.
Right on. So if you just tuned in, I have on the show with me today is Dr. Shalice Furman. She's the visionary of Residency Eye Care and Optima Vision Center, which is up in the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia. Please give us that address again, Dr. Furman.
The address is 6331 Stenton Avenue. We're at the corner of Stenton Avenue and Johnson Street.
Okay, and then your phone number is?
The phone number is 215-548-5949. And our website is www.optimavisioncenter.com.
You cut off a little bit because of modern technology. You cut off your phone number. So give us the phone number one more time, please.
Apologies. 215-548-5949.
So you broke it down. We had a conversation. You broke down what the difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist. And then, we got into, the care and keeping of your eyeglasses and also your contacts. Let's shift the conversation to diabetic eyes. I am a type 2 diabetic. If you follow the show, you know that. And, it's important to get your pressure checked. But can you tell us the difference, if you don't mind, the difference between glaucoma and cataracts?
That's a great one, because a lot of people come into my office and they say, oh, my grandmother had glaucoma and she had surgery for it, and now she doesn't need her glasses anymore and she's fine. So actually what they probably meant was that their grandmother had cataracts. So cataracts are something that everyone gets if you're fortunate to keep having birthdays. It's like gray hair for your eyes. Eventually, most people will develop a cataract. We start to see it developing in people once we reach about 45 and up. What happens is the lens that is inside of our eyes continues to thicken and become more dense and more opaque, and it will transfer into what will one day be a cataract that is not able to be corrected with glasses. At that time, people usually have a surgery to remove it. The surgery is outpatient. It's bloodless. It is very quick. They don't put you to sleep. And it's a very important thing. I usually tell most of my younger seniors to make sure that you have your eyes evaluated. The saddest thing for me is when I see someone that's maybe 95, they never had cataract surgery, and they've lost their vision to something that could have been corrected when they were 75. And maybe they're just, they have some health issues, or the doctor won't approve it for whatever reason anymore, and now they can't see anymore because they due to something that's a natural process of life, but they could have gotten it corrected. Glaucoma is an eye disease that has no signs or symptoms. It is something that we screen for at every visit when you have your eye exam. Glaucoma, ultimately untreated, can likely lead to blindness, but you would not know that you were going blind until your vision is too far gone. A lot of times people will have a family history of glaucoma, or have an injury to one or both eyes that makes them predisposed to developing glaucoma. Some of the risk factors for glaucoma would be over 40, African American, having diabetes or high blood pressure, or having a family history of glaucoma. Those things can increase your risk factors. The treatment for glaucoma are varied, but the two most common treatments are laser surgery, which will naturally reduce the pressure in your eye, or taking medications to reduce the pressure in your eyes.
Is the medication oral, or is it drops, or both?
So it can be both, but most of the in more complicated cases, there can be an oral medication for glaucoma. However, most glaucoma treatment is with a drop. Unfortunately, 80% of people who have gone beyond 5 years 50% of people who have gone beyond 5 years tend to drop out of their glaucoma treatment. And that's mostly because sometimes the drops cost money. They don't notice any difference or improvements in their vision. And they say, you know what, I keep going to the doctor every year. They say that my eyes are fine, and I have to pay the light bill, and I'm not going to take this drop right now. And I'll see what happens. I see people like that all the time. It makes me very sad. Sometimes they come in and they don't even realize they've lost a significant part of their vision, but maybe they switched eye doctors, or they didn't have a copy of their prescription anymore, and so they stopped taking their medication. And so that's why the newer treatment is leaning towards performing a laser surgery on people, which doesn't require you to have any medication on a long-term basis.
Interesting. And so while we're talking about insurance, because I was just sitting here myself looking at my calendar while you were speaking, I got to go back. And I'm such a special case when I got to get my eyes checked. They still got to put drops in my eyes and dilate my situation. But they have so many different tests out here to test your pressure and all that kind of thing. And some of the tests are elective, I think was the word to be used in the insurance realm, which means that it's elective, which means you don't sometimes get coverage. And then a lot of people will have medical, dental, and vision. And so a lot of the exams are covered, a lot of the exams are covered with the vision, but if it's something medical that they're treating like diabetic eyes or something, retinopathy or something like, listen to me, Sharice, you hear me, retinopathy?
Very good.
You hear me? Look.
Very good. That's impressive.
Actually, how I know, but I get drops in my eyes, and I have family history of glaucoma and that kind of thing, and blindness, unfortunately, has happened. My grandfather lost one sight in his eye, God rest his soul, and so it's something not to, like you said, not to be played with. But from an insurance perspective, let's shift the conversation a little bit to which insurances you take and what can people expect when they come for an exam.
Okay, that's a very good question. So we take mostly every insurance, definitely the medical insurances, and mostly every vision plan, with the exception of one, I believe, and that one is a company called Spectera. So let's start with the children. So for the children with Children's Health Insurance Program in Pennsylvania, or CHIP, they are eligible likely for 2 eye exams per year and likely 2 pair of glasses per year until they are 21. I always encourage the parents, you know what, if you feel like your kids' eyes haven't changed, still bring them in to get their glasses. That might be the year that they break both pair, and then you don't have anything. So make sure that you bring them in every year to get their eyes examined, and then definitely get their 2 pair of glasses. And then you can also use that 1 pair of glasses for the distance and possibly 1 pair of glasses for computer for those kids who may remain virtual next year. In terms of having your diabetic eye exam, a lot of times that is usually covered by your medical insurance combined with your vision plan. Medicare will always cover you to have a diabetic eye exam or a cataract evaluation or a glaucoma evaluation with your 80-20, 80% covered by insurance and 20% either covered by yourself or your secondary program that you might have insurance-wise. And then all your other insurances, your vision plans will cover a basic eye exam. If you have any other problems, so when you come in for your eye exam, your initial eye exam, you're going to get your eyes checked. We're going to perform a few things to see how your eyes move and work. We're definitely going to check your vision for glasses. We're going to do a health assessment, and we are also always going to perform your glaucoma test. If after that you need additional care, let's just say you're a diabetic patient and you have retinopathy, we need a 3-month follow-up, those things will be covered by your medical insurance and whatever co-pays that you have along with that. So I always encourage people, even if you don't have a vision plan, you can still get your eyes checked with your medical insurance. You may not be able to get glasses with that insurance, but you'll always be able to get your eyes checked with that insurance. And then, like, if you go to an eye doctor, like at our practice, when we know you need, we work with you. We work with you. You know, hey, got to leave a little down.
Listen.
I need something on it.
You gotta put a little something on it. Listen, you ain't the first person to have a plan. You gotta have a plan. Listen, it starts with a plan.
You gotta have a plan, and especially in this community. I grew up in the same community where my practice is. We have people all the time, you know, they're like, I can't go to work if I don't have my glasses. And I'm like, listen, I'm gonna work with you. I can't obviously pay for every person's glasses that I feel bad for. My husband, who is an accountant, would kill me. But
shout out to Rodney.
I would love to. Shout out to Rodney. Rodney would not be happy. I would love to give glasses to everyone that I just was like, oh man, he can't afford it. And honestly, Brian, sometimes it has had to happen where we're just like, these people need their glasses. We're gonna have to help. We're gonna have to do everything we can, call whoever we need to call to get those glasses made for them. And then if you can't get it, I mean, you have to, you got to work it out. Like you said, have a plan. We also have Care Credit, which is a no-interest financial option. 6 months or 12 months, you pay it off with 0% interest to finance your glasses. You get your glasses right away, and then you are responsible for paying them off with Care Credit. That's a wonderful thing. It does pull on your credit. And then if not, you pay a little on it, a little bit at a time, so you get them out.
So you bring up a couple of questions in my head. The first one is if somebody, well, first things first, I'm on your website. I'm looking because I gotta get me some new glasses too. So first thing I want to know is, you got a special going on. Looks like something like a $69. What does that mean? What's that all about? These frames and
So
lenses, the millennial frames and lenses, something, a coupon code.
so we have an online special at www.optimavisioncenter.com. You can get a complete pair of single vision glasses for $69. That's a great, as you call it, way to use your semi-bread to maybe get your computer glasses, or maybe get your extra pair of glasses, or the pair of glasses you're going to keep in your car. Just so you can have have something that you need. We know now is a time where people may not necessarily have the money to get glasses. Hey, glasses, if you're getting all the bells and whistles, no line bifocal with a regular frame, you and I both know you can spend, if you're paying out of pocket without insurance, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800. Glasses can cost a ton of money. But this is just a way for people to get their single vision lenses for themselves or their children without having to, break the bank.
And you will work with them with the care credit application and that kind of thing. So let's go back to retinopathy. We threw a term out there, and you and I are familiar with it, but for the listening audience, can you explain to us what that is?
Yeah, so when we go and check your eyes, we are looking at the back of your eye, your retina. We are, especially when you're diabetic, we are trying to make sure that there is no blood or fluid leaking in your eyes. What's the significance of that? Why is your primary care doctor always asking you, did you get your eyes checked this year? Because your eye is the only organ that we can look inside and see it actively working and moving without you having to be put to sleep or without it being super invasive. When we look inside your eye, we're looking for little dots of blood or fluid that is leaking from your blood vessels. The significance of that is you have those same small capillaries or blood vessels in your brain, in your major organs, including your heart and your kidneys, and in your fingers and toes. If we look in the back of your eyes and we see some blood back there, and you told me that you think that your blood sugar is well controlled, so it's going to say, well, maybe your blood sugar isn't as well controlled as you think it is. Blood or fluid in the back of your eye is not necessarily a big deal. That blood was going somewhere, and we do need to control it and stop it. But blood or fluid in your brain is a stroke, and blood or fluid in your kidneys is kidney disease. It is an indicator that maybe things aren't working in your body as well as maybe you think they are, and your blood sugar needs to be tighter controlled. I always say diabetes is like a floodgate. When something is small and we can control it, it's fine. We can control it. But you and I both know, and I'm sure you've seen it, and I've seen it in our families and elsewhere, when diabetes spirals out of control in your eye or other parts of your body, you can lose your toes, you can lose your leg, you can lose your extremities. You can also lose your vision. It can cause major strokes. My sister, unfortunately, 5 years ago, passed away from a stroke related to diabetes. It can be very serious. But she also had diabetic retinopathy. She had bleeding in the back of her eye, which allowed us to know that her diabetes wasn't as well controlled as we thought it was. Unfortunately for her, it was too late. But definitely, if you are being told that you have diabetes or blood or fluid in the back of your eyes, if you have diabetic changes in the back of your eye, you need to get that information back to your primary care doctor right away to say, you know what, we thought my diabetes was well controlled, but I'm bleeding on the inside. My eyes are bleeding, and I need help. I don't know. You can take control of your own health care and say, I need to know what exactly it is that I need to do to make sure that my diabetes is under tighter control so that I don't have this bleeding in the back of my eyes or elsewhere inside of my body.
Wow. Thank you for breaking it down. I'm over here, and thank goodness that I do go to the doctor. and for a while my thing was out of control. And I'm now I am, thank goodness, under control, and I have some goals set in place. But it's not something that you play around with. And unfortunately, with the eyes, once they completely go bad, it's hard to to really turn that back. So you want to be proactive with your eye health. So while we're talking about technology and things like that, Yeah, I know at one point they were talking about electronic glasses. Where has the technology gone?
So electronic glasses, I think, are the future. I can't wait until I want a pair. Electronic glasses, so there's a couple different ways that people are using technology in glasses. One of them is there are some lenses that will turn to whatever you're looking at. So, like, let's just say they're distance glasses, and then you can hit a button and they're reading glasses. Those lenses are pretty expensive, though, so they're not necessarily mainstream. But in terms of, like, Google Glass, and Amazon is coming out with a pair of electronic glasses, what they're doing is projecting on the inside of the lens, similar to, I don't know if you've seen a car with a windshield that has the data projected onto the windshield. They're projecting information like that would be across your phone screen on the inside of your glasses, so that you can drive and still see, like, oh, if you had a text message or something like that, it can flash across your glasses. I think they're the future, and I can't wait to see what they have in store. But more importantly, Brian, they're using in terms of technology, places like Will's Eye and Shea are using technology to do things that when I graduated from school were impossible. They're making blind people see. They're doing it at a non-proprietary manner, meaning they're not making any money from the technology. They're just trying to help people. And if you have any eye conditions or have been told in the past that maybe, this is not curable or not fixable, I encourage you to look into some research programs or call Will's Eye to see if there's anything that can be done for you specifically, just to see. I mean, the technology has gotten so great, it's amazing.
Well, because I raised a daughter that is legally blind, and she started at the Overbrook School for the Blind, and here's my testimony. When you talk about technology and services and resources, when I was about to start this business, Bria was probably just about to go to high school. And anyway, well, she's about to graduate from high school. And of course, college, and the cost of college was out there, and they had to make a decision, the money saved up, to help with the tuition versus, starting this Always Best Care franchise. And anyway, we reached out, we reconnected with the Overbrook School for the Blind, and they connected us to the Delaware Valley of Lower Vision. The Delaware Valley of Lower Vision gave my daughter a full academic scholarship to go to Boston University, where she graduated from. Mm. And so there are all types of programs out there for people that have, issues, vision issues. All you have to do these days, thanks to technology, is Google. Dr. Furman, because you got 3 kids, and the last time I just want to say 3 kids, right? Because
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure before I, put my foot in my mouth.
We're done.
Okay.
We're done.
But having 3 kids, you can appreciate, all of the technology is just so quick. Even right now, I made a comment in my last show that, do you know that they're about to phase out the librarian job because everything we do now is on computer that's going to have IT support? Because, back in the day when you and I had to go to the library and use the Dewey Decimal System and find your World Book or your Britannica or your book that you needed, they're moving to technology. Same thing with vision. And the vision things that they have, the technology that they have out there is amazing for folks. Shout out to my friend DJ Touchstone, who's one of the world's blind DJ. Sometimes, I swear to goodness, he gets around so good sometimes. I'd be like, yo, you really blind, stop playing. he was with me the other day at the Sixers game. No fooling. So it's just so much out there in the way of technology. Even with the phone, talking to your phone, and just counting your steps and all that kind of thing. Or your computer's talking to you. It's been my pleasure to have you on the show. That's what happens when you have a great guest. And we're going to get the band back together. I can see us back now, getting back into the field and doing our show. I'm going to call Mr. Britt, who does the hearing aid, and I do the home care, and you do the eyes.
Mr. Britt, yep.
Yes, and we're going to get back out there, and we're going to do some water, ice, and pretzels at a senior center near you. Dr. Furman, as we outro, can you please give your information one more time?
Of course. My name is Dr. Shalice Furman. My practice is called Optima Vision Center. It's located at 6331 Benton Avenue in Philadelphia, PA, 19138. That's the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia, located on the corner of Benton Avenue and Johnson Street. My website is www.optimavisioncenter.com. That's OPTIMA visioncenter.com. Look out for that $69 millennial special.
All right, right on. I'll be looking you up. Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate you. Tell Rodney and the kids I said what's up, and I'll be in touch.
Thank you as always, Brian. You're doing great things. Thank you.
All right, my dear. So that's the show again. If you just tuned in, my name is Brian Green, and you can check us out on Saturdays at 7 a.m. on Channel 4 and 798. That's my show. That's what I'm sticking to. Always best care. TeamGreenABC.com. Call us at 267-909-9248. All right, let's end off the show for my Funketeers, for my disco era Funketeers. Let's play some chic, good times. All right, I'll talk to you next week. Peace and light.